Hello and welcome to the show. We are here on Forza Horizon 4 today with a challenge. We are going to go racing up a river because, of course we are. There's plenty of roads, but why should we stick to them? There are many SUVs, so let's take them to a extreme river environment. It snakes its way up this up this path, kind of snakes its way up through the moors. However, it is not just a flat river. There's a lot of little jumps for these, well, trucks and one gasser to compete with. I'm driving a Jeep Trailcat that's parked halfway down the run, so the drone mode doesn't have cars go out of range. I will be running in the last heat. It is a 1v1 knockout tournament, and we will have a 3-car final, which is going to be quite busy on this course. It is not particularly wide. It is notoriously easy to roll. I mean, I'm notoriously good at rolling cars. This circuit is very, very easy to be rolling vehicles, front-flipping vehicles. The cars have got to try their best to stay in the confines of the river as the Windows XP horn signals the start of the race. However, there may be a little bit, as long as there's no positional gains from going off the river, you are okay. Up first, we have got a Bentley Bentayga against a BMW. There's big jumps across the bank. Oh, the Bentley's running very, very deep. The Bentley's also running, the Bentley's running very deep. The BMW ran in a bit deep, but got away with it, got better run through all of there. It is the BMW that hits the first over the jumps. Bentley a little bit sideways over the jump. This is where the off-road capabilities of your chosen vehicle are going to come in very, very handy. BMW has climbed quite nicely over those first sections. The Bentley's all out of shape. That's not where you want to be. Big, big double jump from both of them. They make it up there. The Bentley is clawing around at the back of the BMW. BMW's over. It's the first roll. I don't quite know. The Bentayga got stuck on the rocks. It has now got going. BMW rolled, has got away, staying in the lead as we continue to weave our way. It's a little bit difficult with drone mode, but continue to weave our way up the river. Now through here, it's quite thick water. Gets very, very narrow. It's difficult to overtake the Bentley with perhaps a little bit more speed down the straight. It's a huge jump for both of them now. Be careful of the rocks. Bentley's gone. BMW's gone worse though. No, you will get reset. You're allowed to carry on if you get reset. The Bentley will now take the lead, although they're not out of the woods entirely yet. There's some more big jumps for the Bentayga. BMW, look at the height of the BMW. Oh, the Bentayga's in trouble on some rocks. BMW's just going for the height, I reckon, at this moment in time. Now the finish line is a huge jump from the Bentley. There's a bridge coming up that will mark the finish line. BMW is trying desperately to get back into this one. It's caught on the rocks. BMW's over again. The Bentley's across, although the Bentley's now stuck on a rock. Grabs reverse. We'll try again climbing up. The final of the jumps is the run to the finish line. The Bentayga will take victory. It's not a clean victory, but a victory nevertheless. And the BMW is a bit stuck. Does make its way up. BMW had a number of rolls, and unfortunately, the BMW will be out. Put on a damn good show. Put on a damn good show, but the BMW is a goner. Well, it is starting to get a little bit dark. We should be good for this run. There's certainly enough spotlights running on the course this time around. We have got a Jaguar F-Pace versus the Durango. Now everything, or most of these SUVs that have wide body kit options, well, they have been fitted. You know, bigger tyres, probably going to be a little bit better for, well, theoretically, for tackling this course, as is generally the way Forza works. It's a good start for the Jaguar. It will lead us into the twisty bits, although they both managed to push each other a little bit wide. Not the greatest of starts. Not as good as the first race. Not as good as the first race. Now, there is still plenty of time to come back in the later stages. Of course, this opening section is not as important as the jumps. You cannot afford to make a mistake on these. You can make up a lot of time, and the Jaguar is doing well here at climbing up the river. The Durango is struggling a little bit more, perhaps taking it a tad more cautiously. Jag is right back in this fight. He's right on the bumper even of the Durango. Gives it a little bit of a nudge. Are we going to go for a double up here? There's mid-air collision. They almost roll the Durango in the air. Oh, the Dodge got lucky. Got away with that one. It hits the front end hard. Both of them actually hit the front end hard as we head underneath the second of the bridges. It managed to crash the drone a little bit now. We're into the more open section as we head down. And these is where the really big jumps start coming in. The Jaguar's over on the rocks. Is a good landing. Huge air from the Durango. Not so huge air from the F-Pace. Durango on trouble on the rocks. So is the F-Pace. They both clear it, but at about the same sort of speed. The Durango's on two wheels across yet more rocks. This big airtime from the F-Pace. It gets the double. They're both out of shape. They're both pointing funny directions. I think the F-Pace is a little faster here. He needs to find a way past before we get to the narrow section. That Durango is struggling. They're side by side. It is stunt of the day for the Jaguar, but that is going to cost more time. The Durango is still struggling across these roads. I don't think the Dodge is particularly happy up this river. The F-Pace is caught on some rocks. The Durango is a little bit stuck. The F-Pace is flying up this section, but is now, I think, beached. Can it make it? I think the Jag's done for. I think it's stuck on the rocks, barring a big... In fact, it's not going to be barring a big mistake. That is the final run. The Durango will take victory. The F-Pace could not quite do it. That's unlucky for the Jag. It's, well, I mean, it rolled 3 times and it was still right there in it at the end. Couldn't quite think it was the Durango over. All it needed to do was get ahead. I think the Jag could have had it, but there we go. That's racing for you. So, as it comes to the early hours of the morning, we are ready for our next heat to run up the course. We have got a Willys Jeep, the smallest vehicle in this group, up against the Toyota Hilux. Possibly the largest, maybe not quite the longest. The Colorado is quite long, but overall dimensions, the Hilux may well win this. The Jeep, I'd be a little bit concerned about its ground clearance, potentially, in terms of dealing with some of the deeper water. It should be pretty damn fast accelerating, of course. It is very, very light. However, dealing with, the jumps, dealing with the rocks, it could potentially have some issues. Oh, it's already fallen over. It's not even got to the tricky bits yet. The Willys Jeep is over. The Hilux is going to get a lovely lead. It's up these first bumps with little issue for the Hilux. Now, up here, you've got to have 2 choices. You can either be ultra aggressive, go for the big airtime, sometimes get away with double kind of climbing these jumps, or you can try and be a little bit cautious. The Willys Jeep is absolutely going for it. Kind of has to now. You kind of got to where you've lost that much time. The Hilux is going for the safely approach. Of course, you don't want to roll. You've got this lead. You don't really want to be risking going for another, going for an unnecessary roll. The Jeep, the little Willys Jeep, is doing pretty well, actually. Now, whoa, it's a backflip for the Willys Jeep. I mean, it's putting on a show. It might not be winning on this run up the course, but it is certainly putting on a show. The Hilux is up on 2 wheels across the rocks, but nothing too terrible as it leaps its way up through. And this is where the jumps do start to get very, very nasty. They're easy to make little mistakes, easy to go for a tumble. The Willys Jeep in the background has fallen over, as has the Hilux. They've both gone over. They're both going to get reset. The Hilux is struggling to get going again. I don't actually know where the Willys Jeep... There it is. It just pops up in the distance, climbing the river. The Hilux here has got to just not get it stuck, not make any silly mistakes. I mean, the Willys Jeep is just going to be going for it flat out at this point. Look at it soar in the background. The Hilux climbs up this next ramp. It is an impressive sight in the background, but unfortunately I don't think it's going to be enough. There are only a couple more ramps couple more bits for the Hilux to climb. The Willys Jeep is not going to be able to do it. The Hilux will take a victory. Congratulations. And the Willys Jeep put on an amazing show. It really did. As if to finish, we're going to go for some more. Like bonus points for style. But if you're not going to be able to win, at least go for the bonus style points. It's quite a lot of bonus style points for the Willys Jeep. Didn't really quite have the control, and it was just trying to make up that time further down the run. Caused grief for it. Hilux will go through. The Willys Jeep goes out, but it was spectacular nevertheless. Up next, we have got the Gasser. Perhaps the odd one out, really, in this competition. Is up against the Chevy Colorado. I very much like the Colorado. A fantastic truck on Forza 7. The Gasser, I don't know about the ground. I don't know how it's going to deal with the water, really. That is the big concern, if you like, with the vehicle. certainly got the ride height at the front, but I don't really know how it's going to react in terms of Forza physics. But there we go. It's off the line for the Colorado. A good start for the big Chevy, but who is going to make it through? It's actually a good start because, well, they're actually going single file into this first line. The gas are struggling a little bit with the turns. It may well have the power further down the run, possibly, to claw back on the Colorado, although the Colorado's doing pretty well so far. Now, you've got to try and not roll it, of course, through these jumps. So far, we haven't had a run with both... Actually, we haven't had a run with anyone making it up the course without going for a tumble. The gas is splashing around in the background, looks quite the sight. It is starting to struggle, in fact, to keep up with that Colorado. I think I crashed into a bridge. It's doing well. It is doing well, but might not be enough. Colorado's long gone. It's actually up through this next section. Up goes the Chevy, clonks the front on the kind of crest of the hill, but is able to continue going, and more importantly, hasn't fallen over. There's no sign of that gasser in the background. That is struggling. That is very much struggling up this course. The Colorado launches itself through the air. In fact, there's still no sign of the gasser. The gasser might well have got stuck somewhere. Colorado struggling to climb a little bit up the hill there, but it's only... Oh, it's stuck again. It's oh no! Colorado's too long. Now, if the gasser was anywhere closer, it might be able to stand a chance. But there, the gasser is getting going again. That must have had a big problem on its run. Colorado did get stuck. That doesn't bode well for future runs. It may well get through the heat against a gasser who's also had trouble, but that does not bode well for future events if it's struggling getting across some of the steeper crests. You're probably not going to go, well, that's probably why you don't want to be going flat out at this stage, because the front flips do not help in this instance. Colorado does get going once more. There's still no sign of the gasser. It is having more trouble up this course. I did see it running testing fairly okay up here, but not gone well on this important heat run. Colorado still bouncing around a little bit awkwardly as we head for the run to the finish. The Colorado is through. The Bel Air is... there it is. The Bel Air's not had a good time. The Bel Air is going for the spectacular style points once more. Bel Air now is starting to do okay on some of these bits. I don't know, it must have got beached on a rock or something along those lines, which is easy to do. That is the downside of a vehicle like this. Oh, it's going to be another roll. Well, it would have come back onto its wheels if it wasn't for the over necessity of the reset. There's a little bit of a pain. Now you're going to get stuck on that. There is a little gap that you can climb up for the gasser. It will make it, and it will make it to the finish line. It won't be a DNF. However, the gasser is out. Colorado will take it through to the next round. The penultimate heat is made up of a pair of Porsches. We have a Macan versus the Cayenne. Cayenne with many lights on the top, which is always good. The Macan, well, a little bit smaller, might be quite good at tackling this course. Look at the size of the tyres on these vehicles. And they do need to be, let's face it. This is pretty damn extreme in terms of off-road. Oh, a little bit of a flinch from the Macan. In the end, doesn't lead them into the first corner as the Cayenne gets stuck in the bushes. Loses a little bit of time. It's not the easiest corner. You carry a lot of speed. These cars are up in S1 class. They're very powerful. Most of them will be maxed out or close to. I certainly know my Jeep is running over 1,000 horsepower, and you are accelerating at a seriously rapid pace into a river, into a very wet corner. The Cayenne seems to be doing pretty well climbing up these jumps at the moment, or it was doing pretty well. Macan's got a good corner. Macan is now starting to stretch that lead. Went for the double on the way up there. Now, if you get too carried away here, you might get in trouble with, overshooting, going for a little bit of a roll and come underneath the second of the bridges. It is the Macan that continues to lead. It is starting to stretch that gap out ever so slightly. It's now starting to stretch that gap out, but you don't want to hit the rocks. Good save. Well done, Macan, for not going over. Seen many a vehicle in testing fall over there. The Cayenne, hey, recovered it as well. Nicely done, everyone. So far, the two Porsches have not fallen over. on their run up the course, although the McCann is looking like the faster of the two. That's a big clonk on the rear of the car. Gets away with it. Next jump is a twist in the air for the McCann. Lands it well enough to continue. The Cayenne is bouncing around massively in the background. Still the McCann leads. I think the Cayenne is struggling a little bit for pace up here. Neither made big mistakes on this run. Cayenne, huge airtime in the background. McCann in the foreground jumps, clears the rocky section, which is not an easy one to be getting up, and it will be the McCann that takes victory, the first car to complete the course without a roll. The Cayenne is stuck. It might complete it without a roll, but has got stuck on the approach to the final one. This is a seriously nasty little climb. This is a really nasty little climb that you've got to try and negotiate. There we go. Cayenne does get up, and it will make it without having rolled. Well, it kind of scraped the door. Did get away with it. The Cayenne sadly is out. Good showing from both of the Porsches to make it up there without, well, as many rolls as we have seen so far. We finish off the heats. It is my turn to run through the course. I have 1,000 horsepower in a Jeep Trailcat. I'm up against a Range Rover. I think I've got a good vehicle for this, but I mean, you don't really know until you take it to the course. Got to try and not make mistakes, and that is going to be difficult. Listening for the buzz. Happen eventually. The horn. There we go. From the BMW, we are off and underway. The Range Rover actually get a little bit of a better start, although is up into the weeds. I'm neater and tidier through this section. Not really much chance to pass. I say that, and we immediately have the drive in the 1,000 horsepower Trailcat. You can hear the supercharger whining away. Now, these first ones are not that bigger a deal. They start getting worse further up. The Range Rover is being brave back there, although yeah, the Range Rover is still right behind us. We get some oversteer from the Trailcat now. Do we go for a double here? We do, but try and keep it low. Range Rover's massively overshot all of that into the rocks. An amazing aerial overtake. The first aerial overtake that we have had on the course. The problem with that is you just go flying. You go miles, you're into the scenery, into the rocks. Now, I've got to not make a mistake. The Range Rover is by no means out of this. If I go for a roll, because you can grab reverse and get it back on the course. There's a reason why I wasn't going flat out through some of these jumps. We have hit the front of my Trailcat on some rocks. Again, I'm going to play it carefully up here. No need to risk rolling the Jeep. Now, it does make me a touch slow in places, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. That's a big double I know I can get away with in this. The Range Rover is catching. No. Oh, well, the Range Rover's fallen. We've both fallen over at the same jump, struggling to get the Trailcat going again. We've both had accidents at the same jump. Now, I am taking this a little bit more cautiously than the Range Rover. I think I've got to. We've got our one kind of get out of jail free card almost with that roll, with both of us going over. We are heading up now towards me. This is the final climb. Position the Trailcat properly. Now we accelerate towards the finish line. We are going to take victory over the Range Rover. That was a good race. That was a good race. I think the Range Rover's got stuck on the final section as well. There it goes. The Range Rover will make it. That was a damn good race. The aerial overtake was immense. If you could have pulled that one off, that would have been overtake of the century. In the end, couldn't quite land it. Ended up in the rocks. We both fell over at exactly the same jump, pushing it a little bit too hard. But that was one hell of a race, and I will move on to the next round. So, we are on to our semi-finals. Up first, we have got the Bentayga taking on the Colorado. We then have the Hilux taking on something that's gone missing, the McCann. I don't know where it ended up. Way around somewhere. We've got the McCann. That is a tough semi-final. And I will be up against the Durango. I fancy my chances against the Durango. I think here the Bentley might be slightly better. The Colorado runs the risk of getting beached again. However, we've seen a number of rolls. We've seen a number of rolls from vehicles, and just about anything can happen. The Bentley is off to a much better start, although does run a little bit wide through there. It's a lovely overtake. Brilliant pass from the Colorado to lead them through this first section. Now, this part, the Chevy's probably not too bad at this. We haven't got to worry about too much in the way of, well, so the waterfalls, the little jumps. Bentega's got that better straight line speed, though, will out-accelerate the Colorado as they hit the first of the jumps. Bentega's gone for a big spin, almost rolling it across the banking. Does well, keeps the wheel in the water as well, although it's a front flip. It's over. The Bentega's crashed back down to earth somewhere, will get reset. Now it's the Colorado's race to lose. Did an incredible job of keeping that on the river. However, this unusual place to see a front flip like that. However, tumbled over. Now it's the Colorado's turn. That's going to get stuck. That's not going to recover. It's spinning, gets reset. Bentega's almost got over in the same way. The Bentley will retake the lead. So kind of two quite unfortunate crashes. A very low speed roll for the Colorado and well, impressive front flip for the Bentega at an unusual place and not at a kind of ridiculously high speed. Bentega soars through the air as they head up towards the first rocky section. Bentega's struggling a little bit climbing there. Colorado's having to go for it, and the Colorado's got over again, although does get it back onto its wheels. Is still within a shout if the Bentega does anything stupid. Any misfortune happens to the Bentega. You've got to be careful at clipping these rocks. They will send you over if you hit them too hard. The Colorado is going for it in the background. Bentega, see the Bentega as being a little bit more cautious. It's not jumping as high, although the Colorado's almost overshot and front flipped it. Bentega's got the last climb to go. Don't get stuck on the rocks. It's overshot a little bit. That's actually very, very nicely done, though, through the second part. Colorado's tipped over in the background. The Bentega will take a victory. We'll be on to the final. The Colorado unfortunately got reset further back. Yeah, it got twisted on the first part and it's clonked it on the second. I think maybe the length of the Colorado doesn't help it too much. I say the overhangs aren't great. Practically none on the trail cat. I can still get in trouble some places. But Colorado got a very, very good start. Led for a while. However, a slow speed tumble would see it fall back and just couldn't catch back up to the Bentley. So we are on to the second of the semi-finals. It is the Hilux versus the McCann. This is a tough draw. This is a tough draw. The McCann looked immensely quick on its run up the course, as there's just some slight Jeep abuse going on in the background. Don't worry about that, we're totally professional. The McCann looked very fast, the only vehicle to make it up the course without rolling over. The Hilux also looked pretty quick. The Hilux can't rule that vehicle out as we head into the kind of S's section. McCann leads, although the Toyota does get underneath. Kind of the extra ride height on the Hilux helps it and hinders it all at the same time. When the Hilux gets pushed across the dirt, not much you can do there. We're on to the bumps. Is anyone going to be ultra brave? No, they're both playing it a little bit cautiously up here. Hilux is out wide, but will get away with that one through what's starting to now get tougher on the old jumps. Toyota will lead us towards the first of the doubles. The Toyota going to go for it as a double? No. Toyota goes for it as a single. McCann keeps a foot down, clears both of them, is now right back onto the rear bumper of that Hilux. They both hit the same front lip, and it is the Hilux that goes over. That was always potentially the Achilles heel of the Toyota. I've lost the McCann. Where's it gone? It's in the river somewhere. There is the McCann. The lower slung Porsche is good enough to deal with the water, the water depth, without going for the tumbles. Clears the next section. The Hilux has got a lot of work to do. I think the Hilux may have fallen over again. It's lost more time back there. Unfortunately, McCann is looking very, very quick. I say very quick, and it's going to get it stuck on the next jump. The McCann is looking good. It might not have the ultimate pace if no mistakes are made, but the ease at which all the other cars are falling over, that may play into the Porsche's hand here, as we have this final section to go for the McCann. If it can make it up here without another roll, it will be the only vehicle to not only have made it up here without rolling, but do it twice as well. The McCann will cross the line and take victory. The Hilux was in contention for a while, but a slow speed roll across the bank would see the Toyota out of this one. He's going to make the finish, of course. We'll navigate through this next double. Oh, there's a little bit of an awkward landing. Kind of actually got to be quite slow on the first part there to make sure you can line up for the second. Hilux will have to take second place and will be out of the tournament. The McCann looks like a fearsome, fearsome opponent. So we are on to the last of the semi-finals. It is going to be my Trailcat up against the Durango. I feel like I might stand a chance. The Durango didn't look massively quick. However, I've got to not roll. A vehicle that isn't massively fast can still do well if it doesn't fall over, if you don't make any mistakes. We are off and underway. The whine of the supercharger in the Jeep will fire into effect. It gets very narrow through here. This is where I hope, I have got so much more speed than the Durango. We can also muscle our way past. I'm going to, I might have pushed the Durango a little bit there onto the banking. We're up to, I don't want to go too wide there. That's asking for trouble. I'm going to kind of let the Durango go, get a little bit of space, and then, I wanted to sneak up the inside here, because I know I can climb this without too much trouble, but I can't quite do it just yet. We're going to punch underneath the bridge. We're going to go for the double. We will out-accelerate the Durango. Up through the double we go. I got landed on the Durango twice through that section. I've had cars landing or jumping over my Trailcat. I'm the only one to have had aerial overtakes attempted on me. I think there is some shenanigans going, at least to make spectacular for the video. We are now into the perhaps stronger area for the Jeep. The Durango's good at climbing, but it really struggles either power-wise or ride height-wise or something like that. I'm going to be a little bit slower over the jumps. The Durango is not as quick either. Clearing the rocks. Let's not roll the Jeep. I can't remember which one we had trouble with. The Durango is close, but not close enough. I'm not going to go for a double up here. The Durango might. I wouldn't blame them if they did. Yeah, sure enough, the Durango did. However, got a big slide on the landing. This is where we rolled last time. A little bit slower over all of that. Here we go. Carefully does it up the next jump. We are through. The Durango is still right behind us, and that is a little bit of a concern. However, I'm just concentrating on let's not have a roll. The Durango's actually doing a very, very good job. I'm going to be slow up here. Now, it does give me the lead. Oh, the Durango's landed on me and got me stuck, but the Durango's beached, and I've punched him clear. You know what? You may well. Oh, he's... That is very, very kind on the sportsmanship there. That is not an expected thing. They went for the double, and we've had now that's 3 times I've had cars try to climb over me on a on a run. Yeah. They waited for I presume for the landing on and basically pinning us and stopping us climbing up the thing. I think they would have had trouble climbing on their own. I am through to the final. Yeah, it's an unusual outcome. That's a very unusual outcome. So, here is our final. We're going to have 3 vehicles trying to run up this very narrow river stage. My Trailcat will take on the McCann, will take on the Bentley. Also, to clear something up from my semi-final, the Durango didn't wait for me. It's just that slow. The Durango couldn't get going in the deep water, so I actually out-accelerated it legitimately, so it wasn't being kind for landing on me. I just got a load more speed accelerating. I'm going to need it. I'm worried. I'm worried about the McCann here. That thing. The supercharger in my car is insane, but I am worried about the McCann's speed. Although they've got themselves into trouble. Right, Trailcat, go. You should be one of the fastest down the straight here. Oh, I'm going to get fired. We all got fired across there. I don't actually know who did the pushing. We were all we're all now going very hard. This is the final. There is no coming back if you roll it here. The Bentake's going to be sat behind the Trailcat. I want to go for it, but I'm also worried. My Trailcat is rolly. It is rollier than the McCann. That high ride height, good for dealing with the water. It's probably one of the best here for dealing with the water. Is also a problem for rolling over. The McCann continues to bounce its way up at the front. Oh, it's got stuck. It has got stuck. I've helped it out through all of that. I'm going to go to the inside here. We're going to try and sneak up the inside. Can't do it. McCann keeps hold of the lead. The Bentley's still in this as well. The speed I get down these straights is immense. McCann's gone over. We're going to take the lead. Although I can't celebrate too much. There's an aerial attempt by the Bentley. I think because I'm a little more cautious. That was the McCann. The McCann came back onto its wheels. I can kind of block the way a little bit with the Trailcat and use my acceleration. I don't want to really double these. The McCann does. McCann takes the lead again with another aerial attack. It's going down to the line here. We've got the acceleration in the trail cat. I don't want to squeeze past there. We're going to run out of road. McCann's slithering. Don't know what's happened to the Bentayga. McCann's sideways and backwards. We will go to the front of the race. It's the last climb here. We're in trouble. I've stuck it. I can't get it going again. We will reverse and spin it around. We are actually now blocking the way. The McCann's pushed past. Ah, no. We'd screwed it up at the end. I overdid it. That was going to be because the McCann lot was so far back. I should have won that. It's disappointing. Well done to the McCann. The Bentley will come home in third. If I could have got it going up the hill on my first reverse try, I would have been good. But couldn't do it. That is a ferocious, that is a mad sort of racing. The Trailcat is exquisite. The Supercharger makes an epic noise. It really should have been a victory for me in that one. I'm a little bit annoyed with myself, but that is the way it goes sometimes with the river racing. The Porsche is probably the most stable of the three, although we pushed it hard there. I think the Porsche got a bigger workout here than its previous 2 rounds. The Bentley was right behind us as well, if anything had befallen us. There we go. Fantastic bit of racing. I highly recommend this. It is great fun. We may well revisit this in summer. There's a lot less water around, so we may well revisit this with rally cars and so on. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.